Hi, this is Ryan Swehla. I'm co-founder and principal of Graceada Partners. We are focused on institutionalizing secondary and tertiary markets. And today I'm here to talk about the outpost economy. So what is the outpost economy? Well, 2020 was quite a year for all of us. We all ended up thinking about much deeper questions than we ever expected, like, what am I doing here? What are my priorities? Where do I want to be? Am I living the life that I want? And for many of us, that actually led to changes in how we live and led to changes in our work environment. And then add to that employers essentially said, hey, take a break. Everybody's going to be working from home. And so what that did is it allowed people to maybe up and move up to other places. People who had been saying, this urban environment where I'm living, I can't buy a home, I can't have a yard, can't walk my kids to school. And so there were people, not the majority of people, but there were quite a few people that made that choice. And they said, now, due to my work environment, I have the ability to up and move. And so where did they move? Well, they moved to secondary and tertiary markets that have a high quality of life. And high quality of life, one of the highest ways that's measured is high affordability, but certainly all the other amenities that go with the quality of life. People talk about moving out of California, for instance, and that has been in the headlines a lot, but more people actually moved within California than moved out of California. And what ended up happening is these people said, I want to live in California, or I don't want to be too far away from my employer, but I can handle being 2 hours away. I can handle maybe being 3 hours away. I can handle being a short flight from where my employer is. And we don't see this trend changing. With the new way of doing work, it's more hybrid. It's obviously not the complete work from home that we dealt with for the last 18 months. But what has happened is employers have said, we know that we can do things differently. And I use Google as an example. They are moving permanently to 3 days in the office and 2 days work remote. And we don't see that changing. They don't see that changing. And so if you have many employers that are now saying you don't need to be in work all the time in the office, that allows people to spread out a little bit. And so I use the example of like a fire. If the San Francisco Bay Area is this fire of energy and opportunity and dynamism, the embers spread across Northern California. And what ended up happening is it creates new embers in other markets like Sacramento, like Modesto, like Walnut Creek. And it allowed people to move into these secondary and tertiary markets and still participate in the fire that was the Bay Area and that still is. And this happened all across the country. This happened in New York City, this happened in Chicago, and other parts of the country. So this is the outpost economy. The outpost economy is where the work has moved to a more dispersed environment. People can be spread all over the country, and they can still do the work that they do. And so the real winners here are the secondary and tertiary markets. Primary markets will always be strong, and they will recover. They will have a little bit more time to recover, perhaps this time around. But the secondary and tertiary markets really are the winners, the ones that have a high quality of life. So we are very focused, and I think other investors are as well, on secondary and tertiary markets that have a high quality of life. And we see that as a long-term tailwind.